Welcome to The Economy Magazine at I-24 News, where we give you a daily view on the world economy and global innovation. I'm Natalie Ehrlich. Coming up today, merchants in the UAE look forward to Iranian business, and Greece braces for more austerity. Let's start now with the headlines. Well, after a 3-week shutdown, Greek banks are now open. Still, most of the restrictions on financial transactions remain in place. Starting on Monday, Greek depositors will be allowed to withdraw their daily cash limit of 60 euros per day cumulatively at the end of the week, for a total of 420 euros. The Greek government is planning to enact controversial austerity measures in Greece as part of its new bailout agreement with Europe. By contrast, the Athens Stock Exchange, which also has been closed for various weeks now, will remain closed on Monday. Gold prices continued their declines on Monday, as did other metals like silver and platinum. Gold traded down 1.5%, or $16.60, at $1,115.30 a troy ounce, a level last seen in early 2010. Earlier, it swooped to as low as $1,090 in a matter of minutes. Well, comments from Fed Chair Janet Yellen last week ahead to bearish now sentiment for gold after she signaled a rate hike was likely to come this year. Now, such a move is likely to strengthen the U.S. greenback, often viewed as a global safe haven, at the expense of old-fashioned bullion. Well, Barclays is said to be now cutting more than 30,000 jobs within 2 years. The move comes after the bank, just earlier this month, fired its chief executive, Anthony Jenkins. According to the British Times, the company's global workforce could fall below 100,000 by 2017 in efforts now to improve what is seen as severe underperformance and also efforts to double its share price. And even more layoffs could be coming now down the pipeline. The Times reporting a candidate for chief executive is likely to remove positions even faster than the previous management. Well, Lockheed Martin has agreed to buy United Technologies' Sikorsky aircraft for over $8 billion. Now, such a deal would reinforce the firm's dominance in the weapons market. The company already has annual revenues of some $45 billion, dwarfing the defense units at Boeing and Northrop Grumman. Adding to the iconic Black Hawk helicopters made by Sikorsky will make the firm less dependent on its F-35 fighter jet business. These two firms are expected to announce a deal on Monday before they both unveil their Q2 earnings on Tuesday. In the wake of the Iran deal, merchants in Dubai are optimistic about the prospect of trade with Tehran. Shelby Weiner has this story.
There is an air of opportunity for Iranian trade and its partners in the region. In recent days, the market near the port of Dubai has been bustling. The scent of spices fill the air, and Iranian traders are optimistic.
Inshallah, if the sanctions are lifted, we have a better future. We can bring more quantities of saffron from Iran.
Dubai is home to a large Iranian community, almost 40,000 people, a presence that helps strengthen the UAE, a trading partner of the Islamic Republic. But since 2011, trade has halted between the two countries. In 2011, they peaked at $23 billion. Last year, business only reached $17 billion, a decline of over 30%.
Before the sanctions, we used to go twice a month to Iran and come back. Now we can't even get enough cargo to go once a month.
The first exchange is soon expected after the Vienna Agreement that will unblock Iranian accounts in international banks. Thanks to this newfound trade freedom, Iranian expatriates hope to reconnect with the flourishing trade of the 2000s.
Maybe the total trade between Iran and the UAE during the first year goes up between 15 to 20% of whatever it is right now.
And Emirates Airline just announced the launching of flights to Mashhad, its second destination in Iran, another sign of the expected opening in trade.
On set now to speak about the further economic implications of the Iran deal for the region and the world, we are joined by Alit Elkon, a partner at Gornitsky Law Firm here in Israel. Thank you very much for being with us. Well, the press has largely addressed attention to the political terms of this agreement, but what about the economic impact?
It's amazing to see that everybody talks about the nuclear agreement with Iran, and I don't want to go into the political aspects of it, but it seems that there are other interests behind the scenes, which are far more, or I mean, not less important and not less strategic than the nuclear impact itself, and this is money.
As usual, right?
As
Money makes the
usual.
world go round.
Exactly. It's amazing to see, I think it's been also one of the main goals of the U.S. and other Western countries dealing with Iran. That one of the main goals in reaching an agreement with Iran was to open the Iran economy to the West. Which means there's an economy that was actually shut for the past few years, and suddenly many European companies would be European and U.S. and other companies would be able to trade with Iran.
Well, it is expected that Iran should be receiving tens of billions of dollars now from this move here.
Well, first of all, there are many parties that are going to profit from this. First of all, Iran, obviously, but also other Western companies.
Mostly European, at least at this point, right?
Mostly European. It's true because the U.S. has been out of Iran since 1979, and the Europeans are actually eager to come back because before the sanctions began, European companies, oil and gas companies, were doing joint ventures with Iran, and they're actually very, very eager to come in again with Iran. To develop again the old oil reservoirs and the oil power of Iran, which is the fourth. Iran has the fourth largest oil reservoir in the world,
but the U.S. is more cautious, right? Still at this point.
The U.S. is more cautious because it hasn't actually dealt with Iran for many years. So it seems, and experts believe it will take more time for the U.S. economy to open to the Iranian market. There would be other companies that would profit from that. Technology companies. Iran would have to improve its infrastructure and its weapons to come within time when they are able to do that.
Well, even its oil sector needs refurbishment.
Exactly.
So we're expecting a big delay here, right?
It would take time. Car companies that are actually waiting to come back again, like Volkswagen and Peugeot. I already heard that Peugeot announced a few hours after the deal with Iran that they are going to be, they want to become again the most famous and largest car manufacturer in Iran. So
they have a lot of reasons to cheer, not just in Iran, as we've seen in the press, but also the Europeans, the businesses.
The European businesses as well, yes.
So is that a big motivator here for the Europeans?
So I think that after the nice words about trying to delay Iran from developing nuclear power, I think there's a lot more into it, which is actually economic power and money.
All right, money. At the end of the day, the core of this story, at least for now. Thank you very much for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
We will move on now with the rest of our coverage. Greece, another big story. Greek banks are back in business on Monday, but morale on the street does remain very glum, and the arrival of these new austerity measures doesn't seem to be bringing the nation any closer to normalcy. Annie Thelesmi has the story.
Greece will again face the horrors of austerity. The country's banks may have reopened Monday morning, but the withdrawal limit stays the same, a mere 420 euros per week, and Greek citizens have more to worry about. A 10% VAT increase on select goods and services hinders business.
Look, it's a one-way street. We will be forced to pay and come to terms with these measures. There's no other solution. And I'm not a serious voter. I didn't vote for them. But this time, I'm on their side and I believe in these measures.
I think they will be able to pass these measures, but this government has crushed our hopes. So many people voted for them, and now their hopes have been crushed. So they will pass these measures, but they will soon fall because they lied too much.
Opposed to the agreement between Greece and the Troika, many ministers have resigned from their posts and were replaced by others. The new government took office Sunday and now has the responsibility of implementing the bailout plan signed in Brussels.
Now it's time for work, for hard work, to change the situation so the people can be assured that they can rely on this government to support the weakest classes in order to exit this tremendous crisis.
For the bailout agreement to be ratified, European governments must approve it. Arguably, the most anticipated vote was that of the German Bundestag, which is paving the way for over $80 billion of new aid to go to Greece. For now, the state still controls the capital. Restrictions are strangling the economy and have already cost Greece €3 billion in tourism. The Athens Chamber of Commerce says 4,500 containers are stranded at the port due to lack of regulation. Austerity without structural changes is leading to chaos in Greece.
Now for a look at DiaCardio, an Israeli startup with an automated software which detects heart attacks. Venture capital firm JVP recently chose this firm as a semi-finalist to compete for $1 million in prize money from the Shangjing Group in China this coming August. On set, we now have the company's CEO, Hila Goldman. Aslan, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us, what is behind this technology? How does it work?
So DiaCardio is a software company that's developing automated tools for ultrasound of the heart, also known as echocardiography examination, or echo. And it looks similar to the ultrasound done by pregnant women. But the problem is that in order to evaluate the heart, you have to have about 10 years of practice to do it right. So it started when one of our inventors, Dr. Liel Cohen, who is the head of the echocardiology unit in Soroka Medical Center here in Israel, was she wasn't happy with the result and the evaluation that the young doctors show her when they're evaluating the heart using the echo machines. So she approached another professor from the Ben Gurion University who specializes in image processing. And together they invented, together with a student of his, who's now our CTO, they invented DiaCardio technology that enabled those young doctors that are having a hard time evaluating what they're seeing on the screen, evaluate with a very easy tool, one click with a few seconds, they can get the main parameters of the heart, fully automated. And this is very helpful, but at that point of time, we realized that not only those young doctors at Dr. Liel's unit having hard time evaluating echo examination, but also we saw that more and more ultrasound devices, echo devices, are starting to penetrate point-of-care places, like emergency rooms, like remote medical centers, community medical centers, even ambulances. And they are carrying such echo devices, such ultrasound devices, and they don't know how to look at it, how to evaluate it.
They don't have the tools to analyze
Yes,
this.
and they need automated tools, software tools, and this is where we steps in and give them such tools. And it's very exciting. We are doing great jobs, and it's in progress.
Well, you've recently won this award here to pursue basically a $1 million prize in China this coming August. Tell us a bit about the process of seeking funding.
So actually, this is a great opportunity for us to be exposed to Chinese investors and VCs that are going to attend this event. But I think that the process is not easy for a startup, and we started as a small company. And right now, we already got the FDA and CE approval, and we
FDA approval
in the
US.
FDA approval in the US and the CE in Europe, and started initial sales. We are focusing on our next round of investment, our A round of investment, and actually things looking good right now.
So what kind of inquiries are you getting? Which companies? Who's interested?
So basically, we are talking to a lot of companies, also from the big players like GE and Philips and all the first tier, and also from the second tiers. And they are very interested in what we're doing. They see a lot of potential there, and hopefully by the end of the year, we will have more deals.
Who are your competitors on the landscape? Has anything like this come about before?
We don't see real fully automated tools like we developing. So I have to say that our competitors are mostly the inner development units at the big companies like GE and Philips and all the others. But you can see that they are talking to us, so it means that we are doing something good that probably they don't have. So,
well, what advice do you have for other Israeli startups here that are seeking funding? as you go through this process yourself?
I think that the process is not easy, and it's up and downs. It's like a roller coaster. And I think that you should trying to enjoy when the roller coaster is going down, and maybe put your hands in the air. Because otherwise it's very frustrating, but you have to keep on and approaching more people and more investors, and it will come. Eventually, if you have a good product and there is a market for it, so it will come.
Indeed. Well, also just loosely here, how much of the time do you focus on looking for money and also developing the product, just working on the product itself?
So basically, we are an R&D company, so the focus is on developing more and more automated tools, and in parallel, marketing what we have already, the product that we have, and we have FDA and C, as I mentioned. So I think that it's about half and half today.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your insight. Sounds like a very fascinating startup that we will keep track of here at The Economy Magazine at I-24 News. Hila Goldman Aslan, the CEO of dCardio. Well, that wraps up our global economic coverage today. Do stay tuned tomorrow for our program. Same time, same place from the Jaffa Port in Tel Aviv. Thank you for watching.